a couple more minutes. All right. Ben, that's a heck of a view, wherever you are. So we're like, is that a real background? Is it a fake background?
No, it's a fake background for sure. I'm in the office. It's a cubicle.
Love it. That looks great. Hi, Misty.
Hey, Misty.
Hi there. How are y'all?
Good.
Good.
I'm going to put the Hawaii background up next, and then I'm going to tell everyone I'm in Hawaii.
I wish.
There's Catherine's lovely face.
Hey, Catherine.
Catherine. Need my glasses so I can see you all.
Right. Right. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Everyone's kind of clicking on here. All right. Hi, Bob.
Hey.
How's it going? We really got spoiled from your last Zoom background, Bob. So now it just looks like an office.
let me see what I can do here. Hang on.
So boring.
No pressure. No pressure.
Carly's here. Joan is here.
Oh, all right. Very cool.
That's the Buda River in Colorado.
Oh, I love it. I want to go there. Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Wendy. How are you?
Good, thank you. I want to go to that river. I want to run right along that not in the water.
Run and run and run. It's a nice long
Hi,
trail.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth H and Elizabeth H and Elizabeth F and Elizabeth H.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Day 2 of homeschool.
Yay.
Isn't it fun? How did it go? It was our first day today, and Zoom link wasn't posted in the right place, and all the moms and parents are texting, going crazy. I'm like, oh, this is so fun.
Yeah. Do I give you the diplomatic answer, or do I give you the real answer?
The eye roll was enough there.
I guess it depends on
extreme highs, extreme lows.
It was a show. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say what kind of a show, but it was a show. But
yeah.
Let me give you the doctoral students' parents. A week into the class, my son's professor at USC called him and said, "So, why don't you show me, or can you tell me about this Zoom thing?" And that's USC, so the teachers are struggling too.
Yeah,
I feel for the teachers.
I do.
It's really hard to command classes. I mean, I have a first grader, and it's like, I don't know. I can't even imagine trying to command that audience. It's brutal.
Well, I welcome everyone. I appreciate everyone logging in. I'm still not saying it's normal because I still think there's something normal about it, but I'm really happy to see your faces and welcome. And good. I see more people are logging in now. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Happy Wednesday, happy September. I hope everyone's families are safe and healthy. I know at this point, by now, at least everyone has some connection somewhere to COVID. So my good thoughts to all of you that are affected and impacted in different ways, either from COVID or economic impact or working from home and homeschooling and all of that. So shout out to the parents and the teachers and the volunteers and the people at the library. We love you. You're still standing, or you're sitting. At least you're sitting. Hi, Sheila. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to officially call this meeting and I will entertain an approval of the July minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay. Thank you. The minutes are approved as presented. Do I have any requests for continuance? Any non-agenda public comment? Okay. If not, let's move forward with our Friends of the Library report with Miss Joan. Hi, Joan.
Hi, thank you, Wendy. The Friends of the San Diego Public Library continues to try to adapt to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. And as I've mentioned before, our board of directors has been meeting virtually at least monthly since March. The communication with the chapters has been mainly by email, and we also have a listserv to facilitate communication among the chapters. But the big news is we'll be holding our first virtual meeting of the combined President's Advisory Council with the FSDPL board this month. So, I mean, I'm probably going to be the technology person for that, which I always find a little scary to have to be in charge of technology for a big meeting. So we're going to hopefully it'll work. Our monthly book sales for the past 6 months were canceled, and our September sale is also canceled, obviously. So that'll be 7 months of no income from that. That's been our major source of income. They're weekend-long sales, and we are projecting a loss of income of over 50% compared to the most recent past full year. We really appreciate the support of Misty and library staff, which did enable us to reactivate our online book sales in July. These sales, which we conduct in collaboration with the Friends of the Central Library, have been robust, and that's been encouraging. I mean, it's not a huge amount of money, but it does, you know, every little bit helps here. As you all probably know, the summer reading program has officially ended. FSDPL is sponsoring the prizes for all the adult finishers at the request of library staff. And the adult finishers will receive a certificate for a book of their choice from the Friends bookstores or sales at participating libraries. However, until we know more about what reopening looks like, the details of which libraries and when the books can be picked up aren't clear. And I think what we've negotiated is that the finishers will be provided with a list of the participating sites by email once we have more information. That'll be taken care of by library staff, because we had hoped we'd be able to give them a list of participating locations with their certificate, after, when they picked it up, but that's obviously not possible. And we're also very pleased to sponsor the prizes for the winners of the San Diego Public Library's My SD poster contest, which is planned as part of the library programming in conjunction with One Book, One San Diego. And I think the announcement of that is going out very soon. And I think it's mid-November when will be the deadline for this contest. So that's exciting. And if this were an ordinary year, my report this month would have included an announcement of our annual meeting, which we traditionally hold in September. But this is no ordinary year. And it's obviously not possible to hold a meeting of that size in the manner that we've done it in the past. We are expecting to hold the annual meeting at some point in the future, and it will most likely be virtual. And that's my report.
Great. Thank you, Joan. And just a big thanks to the Friends. We talk a lot about COVID putting everything on its ear, and certainly the Friends are always the boots on the ground. And so thank you for also having to pivot and shift and move to virtual. I know it's a lot of extra efforts on top of how hard the Friends already work. So thank you for all you guys are continuing to do, that you're able to do, and hoping that we all of us can get together in person and be back at the libraries. And I know we'll hear a little bit more later about that, but thank you for that report, Joan. Before we move on to the foundation report, I'm just going to go a little bit out of order. I wanted to welcome and also do a huge thank you. It's great news and it's sad news, and Catherine Nakamura already knows where I'm going with this, but this is our lovely Catherine Nakamura's last meeting. Oh no!
Yay!
You have been an amazing, passionate supporter, commissioner, always willing to ask the tough questions, always supporting. I know you care so much about education and access and the library, and we are just sorely going to miss you. And I know you've been turned off for a while, but I know we were waiting till your replacement, and that's such a weird thing to say. And we also I'm going to make that announcement in a moment, but I just wanted to take a moment to really thank you as chair of the commission. But I know it just won't be the same, but we know we'll still see you around. I know you've done so much on behalf of the commission, speaking at council meetings, and just really being one of the strongest advocates I know for libraries. So thank you, Catherine. Give you a moment to say something.
Yeah, no, I was supposed to be turned off about, a year and a half ago. And,
we wouldn't let you go.
But I wanted to wait for a pandemic. I really wanted to jump ship right when you need, as many people as you can get. But seriously, I represent the Board of Education for the San Diego Unified School District, as many of you, if not all of you know. That's the title for this chair, and it's something that when I was president of the Board of Education, we approved the library, the donation, or the school within the library, and that allowed the library to be built. So during that time, though, part of the negotiation, and I'm just saying this because I want you to all remember this, we negotiated very hard, and one of the things I felt strongly about was a connection between libraries and schools. And so one of my demands was we have a seat on the Library Commission. I got off the Board of Education, said my goodbyes, and 2 years later, much to my surprise, they asked me to be that first commissioner. So part of my goal has been creating a stronger relationship, as Misty and I've worked with Misty, between schools and libraries. I've sadly made her attend a Board of Education meeting, which was a shocking experience for her. And she now knows why I'm so vocal on the Library Commission, where you are all so sedate and polite, and, bad habits are hard to drop. But at any rate, it is my deep honor and to have served as the first Library Commissioner for the Board of Education. And I would remind you all that this is a very important, no matter what your position or how you got here, it's an honor to be on the Library Commission. If you go back in time and look at the Library Commission in the history of San Diego, a lot of very important people, a lot of the founders of this city served on the Library Commission. So this isn't just a resume filler. You need to be vocal. You should ask Misty those hard questions. It's not enough to just say, go, go, girl, that's great, even though most of what she does is great. However, I think my greatest achievement is that in leaving the Library Commission, the person who was replacing me is the superintendent of San Diego Unified School District. So
that was a great
went
segue.
Right to the top. And that's, I'm feel incredibly flattered that was the only way they could, replace me, was with the superintendent. Right. No, seriously, I think that I hope that my stint on the board made them decide that they needed somebody with more gunpowder than I had. And that's why Cindy's stepping into it. And she's a phenomenal person. She's a great leader. And, Misty, you two are going to be a dynamic duo. I'm so glad you're going to be spending time in the same room together, because on a regular basis, there's nothing more important than education and libraries. Well, maybe books, cats, music. Anyway, so that's my swan song right there. Thank you for giving me a minute.
I know Misty wanted to say a few words.
Yeah, so I want to say, and I have forgiven you for making me attend the Board of Education. I don't know how you do it. I was like,
Yeah, try it for 8 years. 8 years of that. It was insane.
I want to second what Wendy said about, Catherine, you've really been just a fierce advocate for us, relentless supporter. Even asking the hard questions were the questions that needed to be asked. You always showed up. You were at almost, I think, every event that we had. You showed up at council. You spoke for us. You were just so invaluable. And I have a couple of things for you that I will get to you somehow in this world.
Okay.
But one is, of course, your certificate.
Oh, yay. Thank you. Thank you.
For your enduring commitment and outstanding contributions to the city of San Diego and the San Diego Public Library. But you will remember that there was an email that Wendy sent after one of the advocacy efforts. And she said to you, Catherine, you are our Nakamura-saurus. And so...
You giving me a dinosaur?
A Nakamura-saurus.
I love dinosaurs.
It's a planter so that you can put a little succulent in there and always remember your time on the Library Commission.
Yay!
Well, thank you. Thank you.
When I left the Board of Education,
they gave me Johnny Appleseed. So no, thank you very much. I'm going to miss all of you, and I'm only sorry I don't get to be in that wonderful room and that wonderful building one more time. My background is actually 20 years in fundraising and public education, and I was an English major, so this sort of combined, and as a politician, everything that I loved and all my skills. So I wish you all well, and thank you for letting me be a bee in your bonnet.
Well, we say it's not goodbye. It's just until next time, and we'll still see you around. So
yeah, that's true.
That's the good news.
I'm sure we can find a committee for you to be on.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
yeah. Don't worry. You're not going far. And with that, I did want to officially welcome, and who probably needs no introduction, our newest member of the commission, Cindy Martin, Superintendent at San Diego Unified. Welcome, Cindy. We are so thrilled and happy to have you. And when we want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy day, I mean, she's got nothing going on. I'm sure she was just taking a nap and eating bonbons. But thank you. Thank you, Cindy. I have the pleasure of being in Rotary 33 or San Diego Rotary with Cindy, and she's just a dynamo. And if you ever hear her speak, you'll probably cry because she's just so inspiring and passionate. And we're just thrilled really to have you here with us. So welcome. At any time, if there's anything I can help you with, please feel free just to reach out. And I know everyone else feels the same. So Cindy, did you want to just say a couple of words? Again, I feel like we all know you or should know you, but if we don't know you, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Wendy. Is my sound working okay?
Yes.
Thumbs up. Okay, good. Thank you so much for the introduction. And I don't know if Catherine left. I can't see her on my screen now, but I can't fill her shoes, so I'm not going to try. And she's right. When it just kept coming up that this seat was open and the board kept coming up on the board agenda, it kept coming up, and who are we going to replace? I said, can I do it? I would like to do it. Like, I actually volunteered and asked the board members how they would feel about letting me do it. And like, not that I didn't have much else to do, and we certainly didn't know that I'd be stepping in the middle of this pandemic, but this is a true passion for me, and Catherine has set the bar high, and I intend to at least try to meet it, because everything that you've done, Catherine, to make this work and show the power of the partnership between the libraries and the schools and all of the things that make you who you are, why you are such a perfect match for that, I'll try to live up to it. What I bring to the table is not my title, not my position. Yes, that's on my business card, and yes, I'm the superintendent. I'm going into my 8th year, and maybe, Misty, I'll make you come to a board meeting. No, just kidding. I won't subject you to that. Catherine just said she did it for 8 years. She knows what it's like. I'm going into my 8th year, but it's my 31st year in education. And if you've heard me speak before, my passion is teaching, my passion is education, and my background is literacy. I'm a literacy specialist and a reading specialist. And when I taught in the classroom for 17 years, literacy was what I taught. That's what I wrote a book about. I wrote a book about teaching writing and teaching spelling and word crafting. So books are my passion. Moving, when I moved downtown 8 years ago, that was the hardest thing, was to let go of thousands and thousands of children's books that I had collected over the years as a second grade, kindergarten, first, second, third grade teacher and literacy specialist. So I donated them to a first-year teacher, a couple of first-year teachers. So I know my books are out there being loved and read as they should be. And Misty, you can probably look out your window and I could wave at you, because I literally live down the street from the library. So I can see the library from my apartment, and it's just, the library is my home, literally, because I live down here, the downtown library, but just literacy and the importance of literacy. And since we're in a massive adaptive challenge and what's changing in the landscape of our country and the world because of coronavirus, I keep saying that we're not changing who we are and what our core values are, but we change how we do things. And we're certainly changing the delivery system in public education. And what's happening with the library is making a huge difference. And I'm into the creativity and the reinvention that is necessary. And on a very, very personal note, my mom is a huge fan of the library. She's so excited that I'm stepping into this role. She's using the services. She's 83 years old, a retired CPA. She had her own business for years and never got to read. But since her retirement over the last 20 years, she's just become an avid reader. And she was so excited when the library started the pick up to drive. So the only time she left her house literally was to go to the library and get her little book. So thank you from a mom of the superintendent for all that you've done to get us where we are as a city with the library. And it is a high, high honor for me to serve with you. And I want to contribute and have us all act from our highest and best selves to do what's right for our city when literacy is the way. Science might be the way out of it, but I say literacy and the arts are the way through it. So thank you for letting me join and being a part of this really distinguished group. And I'm looking forward to be of service to our city and to literacy.
Thank you. Beautiful. Beautifully said. And we're so happy to have you. It's a really great group, and we get to work with the best library staff ever and the best foundation staff and their friends. And so it's really a joyful place to be. All right. Well,
okay.
Catherine, are you going to log off, or do you want to hang on? It's up to you.
I'm sorry to say I'm going to scoot off here. So
okay.
Since my replacement is here. So
okay.
Love you all. Take care. Stay safe.
Thanks, Kat. Talk to you later. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. All right, thank you for letting me move around the agenda a bit for a proper welcome, and thank you. And now let's move to the foundation report. Charlie, or Patrick, sorry. I'm so used to having Charlie forever, and we've got Patrick live from Vermont.
Well, you've got both of us.
Look at that. I mean, we got the duo.
We got the duo.
The daring duo, Charlie and Patrick show, Patrick show.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so a couple of quick updates. If I think I'm off mute. There we go. Just wanted to give you a couple quick updates. First, the library master plan. The work with Group 4 and Carson Block Consulting has really kicked off and moved forward in a big way. They've met with a steering committee, which we put together, which includes members of the foundation, the Friends, members of the library, and members of the city planning department, which is great. And thank you, Joan, for participating in this process as well. And thank you again to Misty and your team for providing the library usage and all of the technology information to inform their work. A big part of kicking this off is to understand how the library is currently being used. Currently today in this unique environment, as well as the library has been used in the last couple of years. And so Misty's been able to point them in the direction of finding all of that data and those analytics. Misty has also identified Jennifer Jenkins as the library's lead on the project and has put together a group of 6 senior level staff members for a library staff steering group so that they serve as a resource to G4 and the Carson Block Consulting as we continue to kick this off. The next step is an anonymous survey that will be going out to all library staff in September. The consultants and our small planning group have been talking about the kind of information, the data that we're looking to gather from the staff. And so that will be going out. And then after that, we're looking at ways to continue community-wide survey that will ensure, as I mentioned before, broad, completely inclusive community input. We want as many opportunities for the community to participate in this process as possible. So we're looking also at bringing some other partners on board that will be able to help us amplify that community input. The foundation is also participating in some city council candidate meetings. So thank you, Wendy and Joan have been participating with those as well. This is an opportunity to meet the remaining 10 city council candidates for the 5 open seats and talk with them from the commission, the foundation, and the Friends perspective, presenting the library, talk to them about the importance of the library, to make sure that they have been presented with the library master plan process, the background on library funding challenges, and I'm happy to report that it is a unanimous response back thus far that the library is one of the most important essential infrastructural elements of our community, and all of them thus far have pledged their support to library efforts. Part of the library efforts right now is ensuring equitable access, of course, to library resources, especially now that we are in a purely digital environment. And so the foundation is partnering with the library and Computers to Kids, SD, to ensure that students who want to take part in library programs that may not have access to computers in the homes or access to connectivity are able to do so. And we're starting this project with the flagship program Library Next, the program that collaborates with UCSD Extension in providing STEAM and STEM programs to students throughout the city, and we're calling it Next Level Access, and the foundation has provided funding to support 240 computers through the partnership with Computers to Kids SD for the kids who want to enroll in Library Next programs but don't have the ability to do so because of a lack of a computer. And want to quickly thank Marta, Brandis Miesner, and Adi Huertas, who have been the program leads working with us in this effort. Applications are currently being accepted. We're getting applications that are coming in, and then we're also providing an opportunity for our adult learners, Career Online High School students, and Reed San Diego students to get computers if they don't have computers to work with at their houses or with their tutors, particularly through Reed San Diego. So we're working to make sure that we can do what we can to address digital inequity. Part of that also includes connectivity. We've been working with San Diego Unified and the San Diego County Office of Education to understand the programs that are available to students and families there, and how we can best support their ability to communicate what is available and how they can access internet, computers, devices, technology, so that we can address as best we can digital inequity that I think that we all are understanding at a much greater level right now during the pandemic. So that's the foundation update. Any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, feel free to get in touch with us at any time, and welcome new commission members, and looking forward to this year.
Great. Thank you, Patrick, and really congratulations to all the hard work of the foundation. I am also on the board, so I get to hear updates about all that's happening, and it is amazing how much is happening. They're so busy. So thank you, Charlie and Patrick, and all of the staff for their efforts as well. So I don't know when anybody's sleeping, but probably not. Nobody on this call is sleeping. So thank you for that. That was a great report. All right, moving over to our consent agenda, we have our report on library construction projects. So
it's just the Pacific Highlands Branch Library right now. We are a little off schedule on that, so they're going out. They're going to start the bidding process in October, so likely will not break ground until next fall. So we thought it would be this year, but it's going to push out a little bit with that. So, but still on track. And had a meeting with the Oak Park Friends I think that was last week. I can't keep track of everything, just blurs into one. About their project. The feasibility study has been done and identified that the location at Choyas is a good location for that new library. So that's the first step for them. So they are excited about that. And then Ocean Beach is continuing. They're continuing that in-house design process with that. And so we just keep monitoring. Of course, all of these do not have dedicated funding sources identified to actually build them. So that's the next hurdle that we'll need to overcome. So.
Okay.
And then I'll just keep on going.
Keep on rolling, please. Yep.
Thanks. A few little updates for you all. I'm really proud of this one. So the San Diego Public Library was selected as the Stigma Buster of the Year for the 17th annual NAMI, their Color Ball and Inspiration Awards. And it's a virtual event, but they sent us a note that said we've been selected because we're making a difference in individuals' lives by helping to reduce the stigma that overshadows mental health. As you know, we've done so much here with having mental health caseworkers and having outreach workers, particularly for our homeless population. But Joe Meisner, who is our adult programming and partnerships librarian, he implemented and has been showing a series called Literacy of Lived Experience, a mental health speakers project. So it is a video series that we have been airing that really takes, it looks at individuals and they talk about their story. So it's making it okay to talk about mental health. And so they're going to honor, and he is going to accept that award for us at that virtual event, which is awesome. We are looking at hosting a new program through Library Next called Library Next Futures program. It's called Manage Your Future, but it's a pre-college credit course for high school students to learn computer programming. So it's kind of the same, but the subject in this one is business management. We're doing a survey to see how many people are interested, how many kids are interested, because they're going to be online all week. If they want to also get online on every Saturday, it is a multi-month course. So it would, require them to not only, do their schoolwork during the week, but also be online on Saturday. So we're doing kind of a feel out to see if we'll have participants in that course. I'm also proud to say that we're going to be a ballot drop-off location for all 36. All 36 of our locations will be ballot drop-offs. That is very important to me to be able to offer that service. We'll start that October 6th, run it through November 3rd. We are also, what else do we have going on? Oh, I can just move on into the next part. Reopening. As I don't know if any of you have seen the state guidance, but the state guidance came out Friday that said that libraries in California could open at a 50% capacity. We have been closed. It's hard to believe we've been closed since March 13th. And we started our pickup service in June. We've added, now we have 24 locations that are doing pickup service. We have the book drops are open, but it's very evident that we are missing a lot of the population. We get calls every day, particularly about computer service and printing. So, and then we've got, just some communities that are not taking advantage of the pickup service in the way that other communities are, and those are really the underserved communities. And we're seeing branches like San Ysidro and Logan Heights, Malcolm X, where there's not the same type of usage. And so that shows us that they use the library in a very different way than other communities. And because we're closed, we're not providing a good service to them. So I'm excited that we are going to be able to open up in some capacity. Now it will be very limited. We're looking at the October 1st timeframe. We're going to start with 12 locations. So we're going to start with the 11 that we started with the pickup service, one in each council district, and then central. The limited services is going to be just letting people come in and use computers for a limited amount of time, and then come in and pick up their own holds, or come in and have someone go get books for them and then bring them to them and check them out. So no browsing of the collection, no staying in the library and sitting, but unless they're using a computer. We are also looking at outdoor computer spaces, or outdoor spaces in 11 of our libraries that are in underserved Promise Zone communities and other underserved communities, to be able to check out laptops. The foundation is generous enough to be purchasing Chromebooks for us so that we can loan them out to people who don't have their own device, or allowing them to come and use the Wi-Fi, but sit outside in that space. So we're looking at, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we can go ahead and get that up and running in some locations, but be able to offer that as well. Capacity is going to be extremely limited. 25% capacity is what we're looking at. So there's going to be some branches that are not going to be able to open in phase 2. And those are those branches that are under 8,000 square feet. Because when you look at the capacity of where you would let the public be, the staff makes up that capacity. So they're so small. So it really will, I think there's 11 or 12 of them that won't be able to open in phase 2. We'll have to wait until the restrictions ease up to open them.
Misty, sorry if I can ask a question. No. I'm super curious, obviously, with Central, because of how some populations use Central. Are you going to have to, I imagine, you're going to have to you're going to have to bring in outside or add to security or staff, right, to enforce, in a sense, those restrictions? And have you thought through what that looks like? I'm just curious, because I know it's such a different animal.
It really, yeah, it absolutely is. And so what we're looking at for Central is only opening the first 3 floors to the public. And the reason that we do that is most of the computers are on the 3rd floor. So we'll let people access the first 3 floors. We're going to have to look at some of the work that we have to do is looking at what parts of the building are we going to allow the public, and what's the square footage of that space, and then determine the capacity based on that. But we will have to have additional security. Staff will be monitoring. We're going to have a staff greeter at every door, that when people come in, it's what to expect, and just letting them know that they have to wear a mask at all times to remain socially distanced. We're going to have one service point for people to go to. Central's going to be, Central's going to be difficult, because that is, people come and sit. That's what they do here. They use this location to come and sit. And when we're talking beginning of October timeframe, that is also when it is scheduled for the shelter at the convention center to close.
Right. I was going to go there next.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, what is the time? Have you even talked about, what is the time limitation? How long will people
have? An hour. So what we're looking at is an hour. And then but it's interesting. We've been talking to other library systems, and Orange County in Florida has been open for a couple of months, and they limited theirs to 25% capacity and have never reached it. So they said they just have a lot of people who are still not coming out, or still not going places. So they have not had a real problem with people lined up outside the door. Now, they
have the same homeless?
They don't have the same population that we do either. Right. So that's going to be a challenge, is how do you, because you just don't, we can't allow people to come in and sit on the furniture or anything like that. So there's going to be no, coming in and sitting unless you're using a computer. So that's going to be hard. That's why we want to do kind of an outdoor space in locations, so that we have another option for people if they have their own device, or they want to borrow a laptop. We can do some remote printing through that. So it's not ideal, but it's something. So.
Elizabeth F., did you have a question? I have to say Elizabeth F.
Misty, what is the thinking on down the road using some of the outdoor space at the branch libraries to bring back some of the programming? You know, I think especially for kids, some of the educational programming and homework help and that sort of thing. I mean, can you do that like where at the libraries where you have the outdoor space?
Yeah, so we've put together a reopening committee of staff members, and we've been working through that. And that's been one, you know, at Skyline, one of our youth services librarian at Skyline said that was the biggest thing that he was struggling with is the kids in that neighborhood will come by and actually knock on the window and be like, when can we come back in? You know? And he said, can't we just do something like they stand out on the patio and I'm inside and I'm juggling or something, you know, I mean, just something for them. So we're looking at ways that we can do some different types of program in our outdoor spaces. We have a lot of libraries that do have really good spaces that people can socially distance and we could limit the participation. The do your homework just kind of transitions into the student support that what we're looking at. We're going to be doing the do your homework at the library. We're moving it to a virtual program. So we're going to be doing starting mid-September with that, doing it through Zoom so that kids can come on like 3 hours in the morning or 3 hours in the afternoon or 3 hours on a Saturday morning and still get assistance with their homework, but it's through Zoom. So we're doing the training for those tutor learners for that. We are also, and this was a little kind of, it's self-serving on my part, but we have a lot of library employees that have school-age children. And I, am concerned that can they come back to work, right, if their kids are not physically back in school, and how are we going to navigate that? So we had been looking at a way, could we do some type of learning hub in our communities for library or city employees? So we were looking at that and then using our tutors, our tutor learners, to kind of proctor and, help and make sure that the kids were online and doing their schoolwork. But we got an inquiry from Greg Block, who used to work in the mayor's office, of, having city facilities available for for other organizations to come in and do that, like YMCA or say San Diego, to do small cohorts of kids, 5 to 6 with a child care or an education specialist that then helps them and also gives parents somewhere for their child to be while they, when they have to go to work. So we're looking at some different options, and I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to we've got to get through some city attorney. The city attorney always has something to say, so we got to get through some city attorney issues on that. But I'm really hopeful that we're going to be able to do something, because it's so needed, just for there to be, and there's a lot of parents I know that are just struggling to help their kids too, and to be able to provide that additional, even if a parent can be home, Common Core math, I think, is killing almost all parents.
Not it. Don't ask your dad.
Oh,
He's like, no.
No, we can help you. It's not what you think it is.
So
2 + 2 is still 4, I promise.
Don't be scared of that.
Well, my friends, this is our opportunity for the revolution against Common Core.
People have totally misunderstood Common Core. All Common Core is it's not about knowing the answer, it's about how you got the answer.
I know, Cindy.
But for those who just know the answer,
Old dogs.
I don't know how to tell you how I got the answer. I just know it.
I looked it up on my phone.
But our tutor learners have been so great with that. And that's like the number one is math assistance, right? Is the number one thing that we have is, and we're want to continue to be able to do that in any type of
I should probably weigh in a little bit on this because you're having the same conversations we're having around setting up. The concept of pod is widely described in many different ways, so there's not one exact definition of it. But we were concerned that some families that of means or in different parts of our city were setting them up, and then our families that struggled more weren't able to put these together. So when you said Say San Diego and YMCA, those are the same people that we're talking to. And we're doing a pilot in the Morse, San Diego, Hoover, Crawford, and San Diego High clusters. Those are our 5 high priority clusters, and they make sense for you. That's where the libraries are that I'm sure the greatest needs are. So we're looking at making that pod concept in each of those areas and partnering with the Y, but it would spread out to Harmonium is interested, Say San Diego is interested, and then we're all opening for in-person services for some kids, for our most vulnerable kids. So what people are experiencing just this week, because we just opened on Monday, and this is Welcome Week where it's getting acclimated to all the new tools. We had hundreds of hours of feedback from parents, including Elizabeth's Facebook post when she told me she had 35 platforms to log in on a first grader, and I was like, oh God, we got to do better. And so we definitely have a much improved upon distance learning approach for now, for the fall, but they're just getting used to it. Teachers are much more available than they were in the spring, and then we have teams of people to respond, and we just went from 53,000 Chromebook computers distributed in the spring. As of yesterday, 75,000 Chromebooks are distributed. So there's not one, at least San Diego Unified student, that doesn't have a computer. Now, I know the library serves beyond San Diego Unified, but when you think about Malcolm X and some of the libraries that you mentioned, what we do not have a device problem, and we do not have a connectivity problem, because when we find a student without internet, they have the computer. If they don't have internet access, we give them a Wi-Fi hotspot, or we get them in Cox Connect to compete. And so we have on the ground teams that problem solve that. So the tents, we thought about, do we put like a Wi-Fi tent in front of the schools in Southeast San Diego, like you're talking about outside the libraries? And we actually decided not to do that. I went viral this weekend, the 2 kids outside Taco Bell having to do their learning, and the police were there, and everyone's like, oh my God, these poor kids. And so, we thought, well, do we need to do that? Because all of our schools are wired, just like the libraries are. Should we open up areas for kids to sit outside and get access to the Wi-Fi, from the school if the school is closed? But we're really getting them their access in their home. If they need a different place to learn, or a hub type place to learn, then we're going to partner, and that's what those pilots are going to be. So I guess I'm probably saying more than is relevant for this meeting, but I just see what you're working on, Misty, and what we're working on. Let's team up, and it doesn't have to be a matter of business for the business we need to conduct in this commission meeting, but I can certainly, that's a broad overview of where we are, and the student portfolios, parent portfolios, and teacher professional development, they're in 8,000 hours worth of professional development just yesterday alone. So all of that is to get our whole community ready to be of greater service while we do our phased approach to reopening. And what you just described, Misty, about a phased approach is exactly the way that we're doing it, starting with homeless youth, students with disabilities, English learners, any student that's failing to meet standards or thrive and do well in this environment. We're giving them appointment-based on-campus in-person learning experiences coming up very shortly.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And that's what, that's the one thing that we really want to do, is be able to be a support, to be a partner in this and be able to support the school system in whatever way that we can. And, our community rooms are not being used there. We can't do big events. We can't, rent them out. So let's use them for a good purpose. And I think, Cindy, we're probably talking to the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's probably coming through what you're doing, and it's just circling to me to look for locations that we can do that.
So are you being allowed to open up your spaces if you decide to do some type of hub? You would open up a space where students could come if we partnered properly? And because we have spaces, you have spaces, but you're going through the city and the attorneys there. We've already figured out where to put some certain things. We did the same thing with the polling locations. We want to make sure every single polling location that Michael Vu is asking for, we give to him, but we have all kinds of rules for doing it. So let's definitely compare notes and make this a synergistic action.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because that's what I'm getting. We because the libraries have been allowed now to reopen at 50% capacity. It's my impression that that includes, being able to allow people into the meeting room at socially distanced.
Yeah.
The city attorney has some different opinions, so we're trying to get them on the same page as us. So, but I know that the mayor's office is supportive of this effort, really wanting to do what they can. So.
Okay.
So that's kind of the learning hubs. To do your homework, we're doing outdoor computer labs. We're still beefing up the virtual programming. We've renamed it the Virtual Hub. So everything, we have something going on every day virtually for kids, for adults. So we are actually requiring our branches, every branch, to do one adult program and one youth services program per month virtually, so that we can continue to stay connected to our patrons. And we've seen this enormous increase in the use of our online resources. Some of them have a 300% increase, just astronomical. But it gives me, I'm excited. You make the most of a bad situation, and I'm excited because it was always my complaint that people were not using our online resources very much, and we have some really valuable online resources, and now they are. So I hope they continue to do so. But we're just, what we'll be focused on with the foundation and commission and the Friends for advocacy is really that materials budget, and we are finding that materials budget is sorely inadequate for what we need to do. We wanted to, anything that we add virtually takes away from the print budget. So when, we got a donation from the Friends and from the foundation to beef up the ebook collection, but our ebook circulation increased 78% over the last few months. And so we just really don't have the sufficient budget to be able to meet the need. And that's becoming more and more evident. We plugged holes everywhere that we can and using one-time money to supplement, but we're getting to the point where we're going to have to make some major cuts, unfortunately, with our virtual. We came up $200,000 short this year. Luckily, we found some one-time money to be able to make it even, but I'm worried about for next year. But that's my advocates. That's for my advocates, right? And then just to let you know, you mentioned One Book, One San Diego. Joan mentioned One Book, One San Diego. So if you have not heard, the choice was made. It is George Takei's They Called Us Enemy. It's a graphic novel that he wrote. He will be speaking. The children's selection is Right to Me, Cynthia Grady, and that is actually about Claire Breed, who was a librarian and the director for San Diego Public for many, many years. And she gave, when the Japanese, when the kids were going into the internment camp, she gave them stationery and postcards to send to her. And she wrote and corresponded with them, while they were there. And so there's been a children's book written about that. She was just a phenomenal person. So we're really excited. That has a little personal touch for us.
Misty, what was the title again on the children's book?
Right to Me.
Got it. Thank you.
Cynthia Grady is the author.
Got it.
Yeah. And I think that's all I have.
That's it?
Yeah. Just a little bit going on. Just a little bit.
Thank you, Misty. Great report. Lots going on, and I still just keep feeling the pain of the budget. Like over the years, like I keep thinking we can't get any leaner, but we continue to be creative, and we'll continue on the advocacy push to raise awareness and raise funds, and lots to do, but great work. Reimagining, that's the new word that everyone's having to continue reimagine every day. So thank you for all of your great work, and the work of the library staff is really appreciated. So thank you for that. All right, moving forward, commissioner comment. Anything from the commissioners that you'd like to share?
This is just a little bit embarrassing because I joined late. Do you guys mind introducing yourselves to me?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I think I know everyone, but
thank you, Cindy.
Staff,
Yes.
commissioners, all that.
Let's do that. Why don't I'm going to just, if you don't mind, I'll just call on you in the order that I see you on your screen. So let's start with you, Elizabeth F.
Hi, Cindy. Elizabeth Fitzsimons from LEAD San Diego and the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. All
righty. Hey, Bob, do you want to go next? Mr. Cronk?
Sure. Hi, Cindy. I'm Bob Cronk. I'm Deputy Director for Public Service. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And Elizabeth H. I feel like a teacher,
Hi,
like
Cindy.
Elizabeth F. I do know your last names, but anyway.
Elizabeth Hansen, Southwest Strategies.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Thank you. Ben?
Hi, Cindy. Ben Moraga with Sharp Healthcare and a commissioner as well.
Okay.
And well, let's introduce everybody. Sheila, I can see your lovely face. You want to go next?
Hi, Cindy. I'm Sheila Burnett, and I'm Deputy Director of Support Services at the library, and I'm a big fan of yours.
Oh, thank you.
Love it. All right. And Charlie.
Hi, Cindy. I'm Charlie Goldberg. I'm the Marketing Director for the San Diego Public Library Foundation.
Nice. Okay.
And Joan, do you want to go? I know you got to speak earlier, but I'll give you a second.
Sure. I'm Joan Reese, and I'm president of the Friends of the San Diego Public Library. We have chapters at each of the 36 branch and libraries in Central. And we had the pleasure of having you, Cindy, as our featured speaker at an annual meeting early in your tenure as superintendent, I think. And I also met your mother at an event sometime within the past year. And I was, I had a lovely conversation with her and was really pleased to discover the family connection. So.
Oh, good. Oh, great. Wonderful. Thank you.
I love it. And let's see who else. I can't see you, Trisha, but I know you're there. Trisha makes it all work. Trisha. She might be on mute. Do you want to say hello, Trisha? I think you're on mute.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, Cindy. I'm Trisha.
Hi, Trisha. Hi, Trisha. That's like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain over there.
Wow, that was impressive.
She peeked out behind the curtain. Hi, Trisha.
And hi, Cindy. We know each other, but Wendy, Chair of the Commission and CEO of the Epilepsy Foundation. And who else? Is there anyone else I'm forgetting now that I've closed my attendees? Anyone else? Speak up or forever hold your peace. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, we're really glad to have you and just so thrilled for this collaboration, but just to have you as Cindy, as you mentioned, we're just thrilled, just a little bit passionate about literacy and education, just a wee bit, we can tell.
My favorite thing was the first day of school, I zoomed into a 3rd grade class at Golden Hill Elementary and I did a read aloud and I used the Kindle Cloud Reader, which I hadn't used yet with the class. And it's really good for a picture book. I downloaded the book. I didn't download it from the library. I hate to say I did buy it because I'm actually gifting it to the teacher so she can use it. And I did share screen and I was able to use read the whole. It's a great book. It was called Rosie Revere the Engineer. If we don't have that book in the library, it is such a good book. It's got rhyme and rhythm and it's about, so we can do it. It's based on Rosie the Riveter and Rosie the Riveter's granddaughter becoming an engineer. So girls in STEM and rhyme and first day. So I just had a great kickoff to this school year by getting to do read aloud with kids. And I'm available if anyone wants me to do a read aloud, especially now that I can do a Kindle Cloud Reader. I've learned how to do it. If you need to shop me out anywhere or do library story time, I love doing read alouds. It's my passion.
That's so special. everyone, let's send all of our children over to Cindy's house.
I'm babysitting. I miss kids. I'm all by myself here and I miss kids. I am not kidding. If you want me to babysit, I will read aloud.
We've got some young kids. We've got some old ones too, some college graduates, but not adult children. But we've got some young ones still, but good stuff. Is there any other commissioner comment or any other business? Okay, well, thank you again, everyone. I appreciate your time and your support for the library. 7th. Until then, have a great day, and welcome again, Cindy. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Everybody.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Everybody,
Bye.
thank you.
Bye.